Hi, I'm Luce. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing my March TBR. I cannot believe that March is in 2 days. That's terrifying to me. This year has gone so quickly and February flew by. So I'm not prepared for it to be March. It's also my birthday on the 1st of March. Because March is my birthday month, my goal, I just want to read books that I think I'm going to be loving. That's what I want to do. That's my plan. So my TBR for March is all it's basically, apart from like maybe one book, all books that have potential to be 5 stars. Yeah, I will get into the books in a second, but first off, I actually wanted to show off, I got a new tattoo a couple of days ago. So, ooh, here she is. Here she is. I will put a photo actually in the video so you can see it better. But this is my new addition. This is, me and my cousin came up with a name for her because we wanted a really like baddie name for her. We've called her Valeria. So yeah, I got her done last Friday. She's looking a little bit, she's a bit crusty, she's a bit bruised right now, but I love her very much. She is beautiful. I did film a vlog of my tattoo kind of experience, my weekend, but it's a little bit chaotic. So I'm currently still editing that. So that will come out at some point. But yeah, anyway, enough faffing. Let's get into the TBR. Okay, I'm gonna actually start with my first 2 books I don't have physically, and they are both Rena Kent books. So I've said this 50 million times on my channel. I love Rena Kent. She's like one of my favorite authors. And I'm so pleased about this. I have got my darling, lovely friend Caitlin into Rena Kent. She has been reading Royal Elite. So we are going to be buddy reading book 3 in Royal Elite, which is Twisted Kingdom. So this is the last book in the Aiden and Elsa trilogy. I have given the first 2 books 5 stars. They were both a reread for me. This is going to be the first one that I'm reading for the first time. And yeah, we're going to be buddy reading them. I will also, because I'm mentioning Caitlin, I will put a link to her channel in the description because she makes really, really lovely, cozy, just amazing videos. They make me feel so like comfy and warm when I'm watching them. So yeah, please go check her out if you're interested. We're going to be buddy reading Twisted Kingdom. And this is a high school bully romance. It is dark romance. It is everything to me, and I'm so excited. And then speaking of Rena Kent, we have it's one of my most anticipated releases of the entire year, coming out on I think it's the 21st of March, and that is Kiss the Villain. So I will be reading this book as soon as it comes out. We'll be devouring this book. I will binge the hell out of this book. I'm so excited. This is a spin-off book from the Legacy of Gods series, and this follows Caden and Gareth. I'm pretty sure the name's Caden and Gareth. It is it is student teacher, it is dark. Rena said it's very dark, it's very spicy, and I cannot wait. All of the rest of the books in this TBR, apart from my Rena Kent, I'm like, maybe I'll get to, maybe I'll not. I will 100% be reading those 2. 1000%, no question. While we're talking about romance, I will go through the 2 other romance books that I have on my TBR for March. And the first one is Radiant Sin by Katie Robert. This is book 4 in the Dark Olympus series. I've read the first 3 books and I've had kind of mixed luck with this series. I gave the first one 4 stars, I gave the second one 5 stars, and then I gave the third one 2 stars. So it's kind of been mixed, but I love Katie Robert and I really, really like her writing in this series. So I've just been getting the itch to read one of her books again, and I thought, why not carry on with Dark Olympus? So this one, as I said, is book 4, and this is a kind of modern day dark Greek mythology type of series. So this one follows, who is it? This is Cassandra and Apollo, this one is. And I don't really want to know much about it because romance books, I don't need to know the plot to be interested in them. But yeah, I'm hoping that this is one of the hits in the series for me, and I'm hoping book 3 was just a weird like lull. That one actually was probably the one I was most excited about because that is a polyamorous, it's Achilles, Patroclus and Helen, and I thought I was gonna love it and I really didn't. I was really not a fan. So yeah, fingers crossed for this one. And in a complete different kind of romance vein, I have Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I have only read The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, but I gave it 5 stars. I had so much fun. And now that I'm kind of back in a contemporary romance mood again, I thought that Ali Hazelwood was probably one of the best authors to go for that's not a dark romance. I've been reading dark romance, but more fun, light-hearted, rom-com type of vibe. I trust Ali Hazelwood to do me good with that. So this is the Afterlight edition, so it has the really beautiful dust jacket on with the pink sprayed edges, but this one doesn't have a synopsis. So I don't really know. I think the main girl is called B? And is the guy called Levi? I could be entirely wrong, but I have that in my head that the names are B and Levi. But it's Ali Hazelwood, it's the Steminist books, it's going to be enemies to lovers. I can't remember if this one's fake dating or not, but yeah, regardless of how little I know about it, I'm still excited to read it because I trust Ali Hazelwood to give me a good fun time. My tattoo is getting to like the itchy stage and it is driving me insane. Let's go on to some fantasy romance. So this first one is one that I'm actually currently reading, and I did put in my February TBR, but I just know that this is not going to be done by the end of the month, so I'm putting it back on the TBR, and that is The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. I am about 30% into this book right now. I'm reading it on my Kindle, and I am having such a good time with it. It is really, really engaging. It is really fun. But the one thing I will say about it, and this is why I know it's not going to be done by the end of the month, there is something about the way it's written, something about the style, that makes it feel a little bit dense and makes it so that I have to like pay attention to read. Like normally with fantasy romance books, it's very kind of like head empty, just having a good time. I have to be engaged to read this book, but I'm still having a really good time. This one follows our main girl Diana, who is a kind of like, she's almost like a monster of myth. Like she is part of this race of monsters that had supposedly died out, but she is one of the few remaining ones, and she is indebted to this guy called Caden, who essentially owns her and owns her life, and she has to do anything that he says in order for her sister to live. And Caden and his little group of boys are searching for this thing, the Book of Azrael, which, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what it does, but it's a powerful artifact and they are hunting for it. Then we also have our main male character who is called Samkiel, which I can't get over that name, but Samkiel. And he is the king of the celestial beings, but he's like super traumatized and super just kind of, he's basically just isolated himself because he feels so much grief and guilt about what happened to his people. But he ends up kind of having to be pulled back in to like the political goings on and everything because of Diana and her group. And it's going to be their romance. It's going to be, I can already tell that the kind of fantasy plot in this is going to be really, really interesting and really, really engaging. So yeah, this one I'm definitely going to be finishing in March. And this next one, I can't remember if I put it on my February TBR. I cannot remember, but I still haven't read it. And it is Broken by Daylight by Elizabeth Helen. I feel like I've also spoken about this series quite a lot. This is book 4 in the Beast of the Briar series. Polyamorous, Beauty and the Beast, Fae. I am terrified of this book because the way that book 3 left off hurt me. And so the way that that's going to influence the plot in this one, I'm concerned about. And also, I don't know when book 5's coming out. And based on all the other books I've read in this series, it's going to leave me on a cliffhanger. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I miss these characters. I was talking to my friend about this series yesterday, and I just realised how much I truly missed these characters. So yeah, regardless of how much it's going to hurt me, this one will be right. And then we have 2 fantasy books. The first one is The Mask Falling by Samantha Shannon. This I think might have also been on my February TBR. I can't remember. I have the memory of a goldfish. But this is book 4 in the Bone Season series. Book 5, my copy of book 5 is actually coming tomorrow. I want to get this read in March, and then depending on when I read it, I will maybe also read book 5 in March. If not, that's gonna be for April. This one, every time I talk about this series, I say I struggle to describe it, and I still haven't got it down. It's like a fantasy, sci-fi, dystopian mix. It's a series that I truly think the best way to experience it is by not really knowing much about it. That's because I knew nothing when I read the first book, and I went on the most wild, crazy ride and I had so much fun. I'm going to be reading book 4. This one, I feel like I remember from when it came out, this one made everyone cry. So I'm a little bit concerned for my feelings, but I do have book 5 that I can jump into pretty immediately if this one does leave on a cliffhanger and also ruin me. And my other one, which I also think is going to make me cry, is The Golden Fool by Robin Hobb. This is book 2 in the Tawny Man trilogy and book 8, I believe, in the Realm of the Elderlings as a whole. This series, I can't really describe what this particular trilogy is about because this is the second trilogy following this same main character, but this series as a whole follows our main boy Fitz, who is the bastard son of the king in waiting, and at the start of the first book he gets dropped off at the castle keep by his mother's side of the family because they are sick of dealing with him. So they take him to the castle intending for the king to look after him, but the king abdicates his throne and Fitz is kind of just left wandering, and he gets taken in by the stable master Burrick, and he is also trained to be the royal assassin. This trilogy takes place, I think, about 20 years after the end of the original trilogy. Fitz just kind of like, at the start of the first one, he's just in a little cabin, just, you know, doing his thing, writing his history. And then, yeah, he gets swept up in a new plot, because of course he does. He can't just be left in peace. I am so excited to be back with these characters because I love Robin Hobb as a writer in general. I think that her plots are really good. I think that her world is really cool. But her characters are like, she does characters so well. And being back with Fitz and the Fool, I can't wait. The last 2 books I have are just kind of miscellaneous. Like they don't fit with any other genre category that I went for. The first one is Return to the Delegate Dream Department Store by Mi Lee. This is the sequel to The Delegate Dream Department Store, which I read last year at some point, and I had a really good time with. This is a Korean translated fiction book, and it follows this girl who ends up working in a department store that sells dreams. And the way that it's told is it's almost kind of in little like novellas, because it's kind of just like individual little stories about like her working there and, you know, her colleagues and the customers and all that kind of stuff. And it's very different to what I normally read, and I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. It was very refreshing to read, and it was very quick, it was very fun. I did listen to the audiobook, and I will be listening to the audiobook for the sequel as well. Also, I love the cover. I think it's so stunning. But yeah, I thought this one might be a nice, just kind of little palette cleanser, just break up everything else that I'm reading this month. And then the last book I have is one that I have been kind of putting off reading for a while, and it is the next book in the Criminal Intention series by Cole McCade, which is The Golden Ratio. So this series is one of my favourite series of all time. This is I describe it as Criminal Minds if it was super, super queer. It follows these 2 detectives at the Baltimore Police Department solving crimes, and it's told in like a kind of crime of the week kind of way. So every book has a specific case that they're solving, but there is also this big overarching plot as well. And it's broken up really interestingly as well into like seasons. So the first kind of arc of the story is season 1, and this is the first book in season 2. I have been putting it off because I know that I was obsessed when I read the first arc, so I know it's gonna happen with the second one as well. So I'm a little bit worried, but I'm also so excited. I've missed these characters, and again, like with Delegate Dream Department Store, it's a really nice palette cleanser to read amongst like all my fantasy and romance, to just read a mystery book. But yeah, that is my March TBR. Will I actually stick to it? Probably not. But those are the 10 books that I am excited to read, that I'm in the mood to read for the month of March. So if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you in a new video soon. Bye!